Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 81 of Touched. This one is titled Date Day. That night you texted Brian about Hawks needing some attention, and he replied right away, stating that your Hiyoko and his Norman needed some sibling bonding time, so it would work out perfectly for you and Hawks to have a date while he and Uncle Anthony took the kids out together. You chuckled and rolled your eyes. The date was set for that weekend, and you and Hawks had decided to go into town for the afternoon at the local cafe, while Brian and Anthony took Norman for a walk in the park nearby and carried Hiyoko in the baby carrier. The date afternoon finally arrived, and you dressed up a little for the occasion. You were excited to be going on a date with your man. You knew you both needed a little time together. Hawks hummed smugly from his spot on the arm of the lounge chair as you walked out of the bedroom in your outfit. "Let's have this date between the sheets," he whispered into your ear once you had approached him. "I'm going to end up having 10 babies, aren't I?" you deadpanned from where he was shamelessly groping you while holding you in his arms. "Is that a bad thing?" he leered, nibbling on your earlobe. "All right, mister, keep it in your pants," you said with a chuckle as you pulled back from him and started making your way to the front door. "Brian and Anthony will be here soon, so I'm just going to unlock the door," you said over your shoulder. "Is Hiyoko still sleeping?" Hawks asked you. "Yep," you replied. "He's due to wake up soon, though." Just then a little cry sounded from the baby's room, and Hawks jumped up. "I'll get him," he said happily as he pushed off the arm of the lounge chair and headed to Hiyoko's room. You unlocked the door as you heard the car pull up. "They're here," you called to Hawks as you opened the door and waited for Brian, Uncle Anthony, and Norman to come up to the front door. You could hear Brian praising Norman for being such a good pup during the ride, and then looked out to see Uncle Anthony pouting at not being praised. "I'm seeing a lot of similarities between Uncle Anthony and Hawks these days," you thought with a chuckle. "I'll make sure to give Hawks my undivided attention today. He's definitely taken a back seat since Hiyoko came along." You looked back over your shoulder and saw Hawks carrying your little boy in arms, smiling down at him as he walked. "He's a good dad. I've just been so caught up in everything that I've forgotten to tell him he's still my number one," you thought. Hawks looked up and smiled at you lovingly as he approached you. "We have the cutest baby chicken," he said as he held Hiyoko up for you to see. Your little bub was about 3 months old now, and really was a very gorgeous baby. He smiled up big when he saw you, and blew bubbles with his little mouth, his large wings vibrating slightly. It was something cute that he would do when he was happy. You melted and reached out to him. "Hey there, you beautiful nugget," you said as you took him from Hawks and pressed his little button nose to yours. His gorgeous, clear, hazel green eyes captured you, and he flicked his wings around with excitement. "Ah, my little nuggie!" Brian screamed excitedly when he saw you and Hiyoko at the door. "Come, Norman, let's get your brother," he said as he catwalked his way to the front door in exotically bright designer shades. "Hi Yin, hi Hawks, hi Hiyoko," Uncle Anthony greeted as he approached the front door with baby carrier under one arm, following behind his boyfriend and baby pup. "You've been elected to carry baby Hiyoko, have you?" you asked with a giggle to Uncle Anthony. "Yes, because apparently I'm taller and Hiyoko will like the height because he's part hawk," Uncle Anthony said, repeating what Brian had said earlier. "Well, Hiyoko loves you too, so that makes sense," you said to Uncle Anthony with a chuckle. You handed over your little bundle to him, and he gave him a cuddle and a kiss before walking to the car to put him in the baby seat. You started to follow when Hawks wrapped an arm around your waist from behind. "Not so fast, chicken," he said in a mischievous low voice over your shoulder, his stubble brushing your cheek and neck. "What do you mean?" "Rocket launch!" Hawks yelled with glee as he grabbed you with both arms and shot into the sky, your screams following like a vapor trail. "Hawks, I swear to God, I'll—" "Magic lamp is there if you want to rub it," Hawks interjected with a cheeky eyebrow wiggle as his eyes met yours. "I'll rip it off," you hollered. He chuckled and kissed you as he flew towards town. A few minutes later, Brian and Uncle Anthony made their way to town in car. "Boo-boo, I just want to drop by Jasmine's so I can show her Hiyoko and Norman," Brian said to Anthony as he reached over and rubbed his boyfriend's arm. "Sure, babe," Anthony replied as he looked in the rear-view mirror and smiled at Norman, all strapped up in his puppy seat. "Norm, baby, is Hiyoko sleeping, Smitchy Poo?" Brian asked as he swiveled his head around to talk to his little bundle in the back seat. "Babe, I'm sure he is," Anthony replied. He'd be calling out if he was awake and uncomfortable. The baby seat was facing in reverse, so neither Brian nor Anthony could see the happily snoozing Hiyoko. Once in town, they pulled up in a parking spot and hopped out. Anthony very gently picked up the still sleeping Hiyoko out of his seat and slipped him tenderly into the baby carrier, snuggling him into his chest. "Boo-boo, you look so good with a baby," Brian said with love-struck eyes. "I wish I could get you pregnant." "Bri, please," Anthony said with an embarrassed blush. "How can you say that with a straight face?" "Filters don't get in the way of truth," Brian said sassily as he gently put Norman down on the ground and clipped the rainbow glitter lead to the pink collar with King Norman printed in jewels on it, and then the two sashayed and strolled casually down towards Jasmine's salon. As they approached, they heard Miranda's obnoxious voice from inside. "Oh, Beyonce, give me strength," Brian groaned as he fluttered his eyes closed and put his hands together as if in prayer. "Easy, Bri," Anthony said lowly. "She better not be all up in my girl's face, or I'm going to have words with her," Brian said tersely as he sashayed his way to the door. "Jazzy Poo," he sung as he entered the shop. Both Jasmine and Miranda stopped mid-conversation to look at Brian and Anthony. "Hi, sweetheart," Jasmine's deep voice called pleasantly. Miranda just gave Brian a cold stare. "And hello to you too, Miranda," Brian said in an obviously dead voice. "What brings you here?" "I am here to lodge a complaint," Miranda said as she crossed her arms across her chest. "Jasmine's clients park out the front of my shop when they should be parking elsewhere to make room for my customers. And I say again, Miranda, this is a main street. There are no designated parking areas for shops here. People just park where they like or where they can get a spot," Jasmine replied calmly. "It's first in, best dressed." "No, Jasmine," Miranda replied, narrowing her eyes at the gorgeous girl before her. "You need to tell your clients to move on or I'll call the police on them and have their cars removed." "Do it, bitch," Brian interjected. "Bri," Anthony gasped. "I said what I said," Brian replied sharply, his eyes never leaving Miranda. "You're being a petty hoe, Miranda, and I'm here to tell it to your face." Oh, tea! It's spilling everywhere, guys. Stay tuned for the next chapter, which will be chapter 82.